Hey, we are at Exodus chapter 35 and 36, dealing some more with the Sabbath. Now, please understand, we look at Sunday as our day of rest, day of worship, going to church and all that kind of stuff. But to the Jewish people or the Israelite people before there were Jews, they worship God on Saturday. Saturday is always the Sabbath day in the Bible. And so God is re-emphasizing what he wants done on the Sabbath and what's taken place with the Israelites. So let's jump back into some of what he wants them to do in Exodus chapter 35 and verse 1. Moses called together the people of Israel and he told them that the Lord had said, "You have 6 days in which to do your work, but the seventh day must be dedicated to me, your Lord, as a day of rest. Whoever works on the Sabbath is going to be put to death. Don't even build a cooking fire at home on the Sabbath." Moses told the people of Israel that what the Lord had said. "I would welcome an offering from anyone who wants to give me something. You may bring gold, silver, or bronze, blue, purple, or red wool, fine linen, goat hair, tan ram skin, or fine leather, acacia wood, olive oil for the lamp, sweet-smelling spices for the oil of dedication and for the incense, or onyx stones or other gems for the sacred vest and breastplate. If you have any skills, you should use them to help make what I have commanded. The sacred tent with its covering and hooks, its framework and crossbars, and its post and stands, the sacred chest and its carrying poles, its place of mercy, and the curtain in front of it, the table with all that goes on it, including the sacred bread, the lamp with its equipment and oil, the incense altar and its carrying poles and sweet-smelling incense, the ordination oil, the curtain for the entrance to the sacred tent, the altar for sacrifices with its bronze grating, its carrying poles, and its equipment, the large bronze bowl with its stand, the curtains with the posts and stands that go around the courtyard, and the pegs and ropes for the tent and the courtyard, and the finely woven priestly clothes for Aaron and his sons." Moses finished speaking, and everyone left. Then those who wanted to bring gifts to the Lord brought them to be used for the sacred tent, the worship services, and the priestly clothes. Men and women came willingly and gave all kinds of gold jewelry, such as pins, earrings, rings, and necklaces. Everyone brought their blue and purple and red wool, their fine linen, and their cloth made of goat hair, as well as their ram skins dyed red and their fine leather. Anyone who had silver or bronze or acacia wood brought it as a gift to the Lord. The women were good at weaving cloth, brought the blue, purple, and red wool and the fine linen they had made, and the women knew how to make cloth from goat hair. Were glad to do so. The leaders brought different kinds of jewels to be sewn on the special clothes and the breastplate piece for the high priest. That's the picture that I showed you. They also brought sweet-smelling spices to be mixed with the incense and olive oil that were the lamps and for ordaining the priests. Moses had told the people what the Lord wanted them to do, and many of them decided to bring gifts. Moses said to the people of Israel, "The Lord has chosen Bezalel of the Judah tribe." Remember, all the 12 tribes of Israel, Judah is one of them. "Not only has the Lord filled him with his spirit, but he has given him wisdom and made him a skilled craftsman who can create objects of art with gold, silver, bronze, stone, and wood. The Lord is urging him and Oholiab from the tribe of Dan and other of the 12 tribes to teach others. And he has given them all kinds of artistic skills, including the ability to design and embroider with blue, purple, and red wool and to weave fine linen." Chapter 36. The Lord has given Bezalel and Oholiab and others the skills needed for building a place of worship, and they will follow the Lord's instructions. Then Moses brought together these workers who were eager to work, and he gave them the money that the people of Israel had donated for building the place of worship. In fact, so much money has been given each morning that finally everyone stopped working, and Moses said, "Moses, there is already more money than we need for what the Lord has assigned us to do." So Moses sent word for the people to stop giving, and they did. But there was already more than enough to do what needed to be done. And I know you might ask, remember, they're on the run. Where are they getting all this gold and jewelry and clothes and linen, all that kind of wool and different colors? Where's it all coming from? Remember, the Egyptians, before they left, their masters gave them all kinds of stuff. God knew what he was doing way back then. okay, years before, and they've given all this stuff to the Israelites as gifts, and they took off with it. Verse 8, the skilled workers got together to make the sacred tent and its linen curtains, woven with blue, purple, and red wool, and embroidered with figures of winged creatures. Each of the 10 panels was 14 yards long and 2 yards wide, and they were sewn together to make 2 curtains with 5 panels each. Then 50 loops of blue cloth were put along one of the wider sides of each curtain, and the 2 curtains were fastened together at the loops with 50 gold hooks. As the material for the tent, goat hair was used to weave 11 sections, 15 yards by 2 yards each. These 11 sections were joined to make 2 panels, one with 5 and the other with 6 sections. 50 loops were put all along one of the wider sides of each panel, and the 2 panels were fastened at the loops with 50 bronze hooks. 2 other coverings were made, one with fine leather and the other with ram skins dyed red. Acacia wood was used to build the framework for the walls of the sacred tent. Each frame was 15 feet high and 27 inches wide, and the 2 wooden pegs near the bottom. Then 2 silver stands were placed under each frame with sockets for the pegs so that they could be joined together. 20 of these frames were used along the south side and 20 more along the north. 6 frames were used for the back wall along the west side, with 2 more at the southwest and northwest corners. These 2 corner frames were joined from top to bottom. Together, along with the back wall, there were 8 frames with 2 silver stands under each of them. 5 crossbars were made for each of the wooden frames, with the center crossbar running the full length of the wall. The frames and crossbars were covered with gold, and gold rings were attached to the frames to run the crossbars through. They made the inside curtain of fine linen woven with blue, purple, and red wool and embroidered with figures of winged creatures. They also made 4 acacia wood posts and covered them with gold. Then gold rings were fastened to the posts, which were set on silver stands. For the entrance to the tent, they used a curtain of fine linen woven with blue, purple, and red wool, embroidered with fancy needlework. They made 5 posts, covered them completely with gold, and set them each on a gold-covered bronze stand. Finally, they attached the hooks for the curtain. Now, here's what I want you to understand is that all of the Israelites came together to do one thing. And that was to do what God had asked them to do. And they also did these according to God's plans, because they were going to be taking this tent down and putting it back up, down and up. And so they made it all uniform so they would be able to do it all together. So the Israelites were doing what the church is supposed to do. When the church is in need, when there's an issue, people give, and it helps the ministry to survive. I hope you have a great day.